Hi, this is Sharon Bornholt, and I have a tip for you today about writing contracts. Now, most of you know that as an investor, when you put different clauses in the contract, like subject to inspection and those sorts of things, it's kind of a red flag to the seller. You know, on one hand, you'll say, I'm buying the house as is, which I put in my contracts. But on the other hand, then you're saying, well, I want to get an inspection. Now, there are certain times when that's a valid thing to put in your contract, and one of those is if you suspect serious structural problems. So rather than saying, you know, you can say subject to a structural inspection, you can just say subject to inspection in that case and explain to the seller why this is a special circumstance. And you can explain that by saying, I'm going to buy it as is, so long as the repairs fall within the amount I've allotted. And I want to make sure before I, actually sign on the dotted line. So the one clause that I put in my contract, and it is a clause that was given to me by my closing attorney, and that clause is subject to partner approval. So what does that mean? Well, it can mean just about anything, that you have a partner maybe in your real estate business. You don't have to specify who your partner is or what their role is. Now, for me and for most anyone that's a wholesaler, that subject to partner approval is my safety net. I'll call it that, safety net for my person who's going to ultimately bring the cash to the deal, which is my end buyer. So a wholesaler, I'm going to sell it to an end buyer who's almost always going to be a rehabber or could be a landlord. So when I say it's subject to partner approval, I just explain that I have a partner that brings the cash to the deals and that this partner may in fact want to look at the house. On rare occasions, if it's a sketchy deal, or a little bit border deals, I might say, sketchy is not the right word, but let's say it's kind of a fringe deal in an area where I'm not 100% sure that my top buyers would want it. Then I'm going to tell the seller up front, this house is different because, and state what the reason is. And then I'm going to say there's a chance my top buyer or two might not want the house, and that what that means for you is that I may have to bring another money partner through. So I get that all out in the open right from the get-go. Now, most of the houses I look at are vacant. So I always get permission to put a lockbox on the house. Now, don't give that lockbox combination to just anybody. I give it to the top people on my list, usually sending them one at a time. I'll send the person over there that I think is most likely to buy the house. So just remember, rather than to put up a whole lot of red flags or roadblocks or those sorts of things, just put a simple clause in there saying the contract is subject to partner approval. Give a quick explanation like I do, and then just move on. I've never found it to be a problem. But thanks to John for submitting this question today. That was a good question about clauses in contracts. And I'll be back soon with another tip on real estate investing.